Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I hope everyone is doing well tonight, and I'm once again simulcasting on to both. I noticed a bunch jumped on Rumble, and I appreciate that. Also here on UTizzle. So before I forget, hit the like button. Helps the videos get around. Anyway, I'm gonna play some videos for you all while people get in the chats, and then we're going to be like butter. And what do? Get on a roll.
Walking over here to the Capitol, and I give myself a pep talk. I talk to myself. I say, Kennedy, today you're going to follow Jesus. And by 10 o'clock, I still want to follow Jesus, but I also want to slap the hell out of somebody.
Stronger and better than ever before. They're mostly gone. They're all coming back. This is why people in countries want to kill me. They're not happy with me. It's a risky business. This is why they want to kill me. They only kill consequential presidents, remember that. But this is why, if you're one of the countries that's affected, you're not happy with what I'm saying. When they used to say they because he did nothing to help us. When they like Biden, who doesn't know he's alive, of course they like him because he does nothing to bring your businesses back. He lets the world rob our country, the robber barons. He lets them rob and steal from our country, and most importantly, he lets them take our jobs.
Why are our Democrat colleagues so determined to flood our millions of illegal aliens? And I'd like to suggest that perhaps it's because they benefit from it politically. Remember that every state is apportioned congressional seats based on population, not based on citizenship. Counting non-citizens in congressional apportionment has resulted in more seats for blue states and fewer congressional seats for red states.
But I am telling you right now, that mother back there is not real. And you can sit on this plane and you can.
Storm zone. Yes, sir. I'm wondering what storm you're talking about.
And they have unsuccessful person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
Now think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined. Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn, and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he sees as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. take care of it.
Hi, folks. I hope you're doing all right. I'm doing all right, too. We got a lot to talk about. I have refined my proposal of what to do about these Marxist lunatic judges that have infested the judiciary all the way up to the Supreme Court. We'll talk about that and a lot of other things. So let's see here. Doc's here. Kicking Bird's here. Sherry's here. KNS Cleanup. Nice to see you. Debbie. Pappy Two Bears. All right. Rain's here. Damon. Yvonne. Linda. Good evening, Kathy. Nice to see you. Good evening, Marie. Melinda says hello. All right. Idaho is having problems with I heard about some people responding to a wildfire. Hi, Wayne. How you doing? Bambi. Wayne, I want to thank you for going buy me a coffee earlier this evening and helping the channel out. I do appreciate it very much. I have a link in the description if anybody wants to help out, as this is a totally viewer-supported channel, as most of you already know. So, I'm letting my studio get warmed up here. We got desperate Dems making nitwits out of themselves. What's new about that? And I'm going to have as my background one of my favorites. Let's see if it shows up. Whoa, I got Sleepy Joe there. Sleepy Joe. Get off the screen, Sleepy Joe. Oh, my goodness. One of my favorites. My battle damage assessment. And I got my red pill there. If they're not waking up by now, God help them. And they are freaking out. They're trying to come up with some kind of stuff that can mock people. Trying to mock J.D. Vance, always trying to mock Trump. But it's stupid. I'm going to show you some of that. You know, of course, the mainstream media is playing along with it. But a lot of them, you know, hey, they're putting up videos, and I'm pretty sure it's because they're being made to put up videos and to balance the scale, so to speak, as part of the Truth and Reconciliation Act. I do believe that. I always have believed that. Nice to see you, Sherry. Yeah, they were ambushed. I heard about that. Hi, Rebecca. Kathy. Yes, Wayne said, give me a thumbs up. So, anyway, how many people got hit during that? I heard it was a more, you know, they put it up as a mass SHOO ting, right? And who knows what that is? 3, 2, 5? But people are going off their rocker. And I believe that is going to that are causing this with vitriolic language. And it's like Trump said. He said it about both Pompeo and Lindsey Graham. He said your mouth can get you in trouble. Your mouth. A lot of that goes for these attorneys running around here, these judges, like even with on the Supreme Court with Jackson. I got some screenshots of what she said. I know I covered it before, but it's so outrageous and so ignorant. That's why I'm saying there needs to be something put in place to have this person removed for bad behavior. Not only her, but, you know, the Boasberg, the Kaplan, and Goron, down the line, Mercom, you know, people like that. We have to have a system for getting these judges removed in a way that comports with the spirit of our Constitution. All branches involved. I think the president should be able to petition the Supreme Court, leave the House out of it, because the Supreme Court does not take input from the House. Okay? It's the appointed by the president, nominated by the president, appointed with the advice and consent of the Senate. So if he petitions the court of bad behavior, what did they do that was bad behavior? And request that the court make a referral to the Senate for a vote of no confidence. And the Supreme Court concurs that a vote is needed. A review of the behavior that the president finds objectionable by the Senate, and a vote to concur and remove that person. Just that simple. I had it too convoluted the first time. No need to involve the House. That's kind of like a mini riot at all times. You don't, political headbanging. Yeah. President petitions the court for the court to give a referral for a vote of no confidence. Refer that justice or judge. See, Supreme Court, they're called justices. Lower courts, they're called judges. So refer them to the Senate for a vote of no confidence. And nobody's making anybody do anything. It's a concurrence of the branches of government that are involved. Yeah, all three. The executive, Congress, and the judiciary. What do y'all think about that, folks? I say it's a good idea. Today was crazy. Well, the whole week's been crazy, Debbie. The whole week. Hi, Judy. Gary, haha. Darla. Oh, really? You can see the fire. Oh, Miss Mindersoo. Oh, they got lots of them, you say. American. I'd love to see him be referred for a vote of no confidence and subsequent removal for bad behavior. Yeah, they vote to remove the justice and have it passed by the Senate and signed by the president. And the referral is made by the Supreme Court because they can't stand her. Old cameraman, how you doing? MS Motorsports, nice to see you. Whiskey, nice to see you. Hi, Robin. So anyway, that might need a little tweaking or whatever, but the bones of it are a good idea. Maybe I'll get with Andrew Branco. He's a member of the Supreme Court bar. And I can reach out to him. And it's, more people. And I know other people. I don't know Andrew Branco, but there are people I know that have served in the Justice Department, the U.S. Department of Justice. And I could bend their ear. So, anyway, this is the kind of crap the mainstream media is focusing on. I had this in my studio night before last. And the story they're trying to push is that somebody from Sweden, I forget, some star, was refused entry into the country because they called this a baby meme of J.D. Vance. And you better not have pictures like this on your phone or they'll kick you out of the country. And they even had somebody on the floor of whatever they have at Parliament, it was in Netherlands, I think, showing this picture, this very picture you're looking at, saying, look how horrible they treat our citizens. You can't even have a picture like this on your phone. When the real thing was, the person was involved with drugs. Said they had a history with drugs and had a picture in their phone that was mentioned very quickly in the MSNBC report of a pipe. Just real quick, they said they had a picture of a pipe and this picture of J.D. Vance. They just go over the pipe part real quick. What kind of pipe? Peace pipe? I don't think so. Might have been smoking that wacky tobacco in the peace pipe. That's possible, yeah. But, you know, there's crack pipes. There's all kinds of pipes. So anyway, that's some petty crap that they're going with. And stuff like this, I said, what the hell is this? What the hell is this? Midas trash. Our fearless Generalissimo Hegseth. I look at the meme and I'm going, what is that? Oh, their big deal now is the donkey finally alone in the barn thinking he's a unicorn. And they all giggle and laugh maniacally just like they do over the taco thing. That makes no sense. Trump always chickens out. Well, he just blew the hell out of Iran without batting an eye. So they're trying to tear down Hegseth with some stupid, they call him an alcoholic, they do this. Even today, I mean, I'm just showing you the bottom of the barrel of their attempts to do what? They had one idiot on MSNBC. Here he is. I don't even know who he is. How long ago did Hegseth give his press conference? 3 days ago? 4 days ago? I don't know. But this they put up today. Representative Moldy Moulton. It was almost comical to watch. They're trying to come up with ways to mock Hegseth when he was sticking up for the operation that somebody talked out of school about. And somebody's going to be in big trouble for that. I don't care. I don't care if people say, well, it's not a big deal. Because they were all jumping up and down about the Signal chats with Hegseth. He didn't leak anything whoop-de-doo about that for weeks and weeks. But now we have somebody actually leaking out intel, classified. Rudy Giuliani put a post up about that. Pretty plain and simple, if I can find it. Whoever did it needs to be prosecuted. And what's coming? You guys want to tighten up the ship on here, this really makes them mad right here. Really makes them mad. I think Trump has earned his own mountain by now. Melvita, how you doing? A Google account. Nice to see you. So, let's see what else. If I miss anybody, I give my apologies. Here's a real brilliant line of thinking. We are toast, chat. I put in there, you're burnt toast. But anyway, thought it was just MAGA America. But the head of NATO just gave Trump so much praise and bent over for him. Oh, and he called Trump daddy. So we don't know where we are at anymore. Yeah, you don't know, do you, you losers? It's driving them nuts. I got this clip. Oh, and even about last week, before everything went Trump's way. I mean, things busted out in Trump's way big time. ABC was putting this up. I had this in my studio for about a week, 5 days, 6 days. Justice Amy Coney Barrett defies court. Whose expectations? Who are you talking about? This is before Amy Coney Barrett smacked down Ketanji Brown. Here it is, ABC. When President Trump appointed Justice Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court weeks before the 2020 election, outraged liberals attacked her as a right-wing ideologue, while elated conservatives swooned over a promotion of a protege of the late Justice Antonin Scalia. 5 years later, the court's junior conservative justice has surprised legal advocates on both ends of the spectrum, defying initial expectations, staking out independent ground, and at times conspicuously breaking with the Republican president who put her on the bench. As the court prepares to hand down the most consequential rulings of the year by the end of June, Barrett is widely viewed as a pivotal vote to watch. Well, she pivoted right in Ketanji Brown's, for her forehead. And this is what dopey David Pakman had up about a week ago. Deflated and desperate Trump, out of energy, has no idea. Watch the full video. You got a picture of him barely hanging in there. Ha 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 ha. Within 72 hours, the week from liberal hell broke loose. In a historic way. That they're going to feel the reverberations, but they're conniving. We know that. They're conniving and planning. And that's just another word for conspire. Conspire is connive. I felt like putting up the word connive, though. It's a much more base word when you're a conniver. Gives a truer spirit. I have a clip from these dimwits. My opinion, of course. I have to try to keep myself, keep myself from being exposed to any kind of scurrilous accusations of slander, even though they're that's all they do. Where is it? Here you go. Here's a bunch of kooks right here. And look at him. Now, the guy on the upper right, look at his face. Look at his face. He looks like he just lost his bag of marbles or something. I mean, he's just sitting there looking stupid. And then the one in the top left is, what's the name of this broadcast? The Best People or something like that. I think that's the name of it. The Best. Did I write that down? The Best People. Holy cow. What did I do with that piece of paper? Anyway, they are putting on phony smiles at the bottom. But this is the drippiest. Listen to them talk about what they're going to do with themselves. What are they going to do with themselves? Nicole Wallace, that's her name. They say, we're optimistic. They got these fake smiles on. But watch what they lean on as to what they're optimistic about. Going to screw things up with a coming illness, becoming a king and a ruler. That's going to wake the people up.
Are you guys optimistic? Are you optimistic that you're on the side, that we're on the side that's going to win?
I'm very optimistic because I think by now Trump and Musk thought that they would have crushed all opposition and resistance. I think they felt very confident when they had all the people going to Mar-a-Lago and kissing the ring at first, that they had it all under control. I think people really up until February just didn't even want to look at it, and there was this sense of, would there be a resistance? Would there be an opposition? And I think right now the opposition, the resistance to this authoritarian regime, which is what I call it, I think is stronger than ever. I think it was during the first term. I think it's
look at those optimistic faces. Look how optimistic they are. This guy on the top right is co-founder of Midas Trash Network. He's a co-founder, and I've talked about him in the past. But see how happy and optimistic they are. But they're planning on a big resistance.
Continue to get stronger. I mean, look, I'm sad. It pains me to see the suffering that has happened and that will inevitably continue to happen based on decisions already made and what will happen in the future. I'm not naive to the challenges or that the effort is going to be is full-fledged authoritarianism at the end of the day. But I am confident that the opposition and resistance continues to grow, that the regime continues to weaken, and that these values that made us really the United States of America, starting with democracy and being a melting pot and actually having communities that lift each other up versus punch each other down. I think those values, ultimately prevail, although it's not going to be easy.
What do you worry about most? I mean, have they come for you guys, seeing your power and your connection and your numbers, to talk in terms?
Yeah, but I don't worry about that. I don't worry. Yes, and frequently, and there are death threats frequently. There's I don't even want to get into some many ideas of what they.
If that was true, you would smear it all over the media. If what you're saying is true, it's your bunch that is pulling that kind of stuff. And your talk of authoritarianism and punching down, all that kind of crap, that's mirroring. You're the ones doing it. And I enjoy look at the look on her face. She looks like she's getting ready to bust out crying. And those other two clowns too.
They could do. But the personal side never been, a factor. The part that gets me worried and upset are things like what happens during hurricane season when FEMA is significantly reduced. What's going to happen if there's another serious, and there already is with new strains and outbreaks and E. coli. What happens when you have RFK Jr. covering up data and statistics, and that's what worries me more than anything kind of personal.
The most thing we got to worry about is the woke mind virus. Okay, that's what we got to worry about. Yeah, it's called the best people. Talking about FEMA, Trump's going to destroy FEMA. What the hell they do for the people in North Carolina, you dimwit? It's not these billions of dollars that are budgeted. It's a leader. It's action. I'm glad, Kathy, you're not going out doing crazy stuff. But yeah, maybe they need the medication. But anyway, here, look at this garbage. I didn't film the video. I didn't copy the video. Lives to TikTok put it up. Kathy Griffin apparently posted this video, which appears to be decapitated heads, including Trump. This should be investigated, FBI. And of course, it's cartoon drawings and stuff, and I'm not going to play it. But Kathy Griffin, she didn't learn her little lesson. Maybe she needs to learn her little lesson. Who's that idiot in Tennessee that mayor is my people in here from Tennessee. Where's he from in Tennessee? He's being investigated for spilling the beans on ice raids. So we're going to see people going into the joint over that. Here's a video, people are getting fed up. Here's a video where a woman apparently she got a cane, she's going out in Portland where all these lunatics are. And they had a speaker up there. If you listen, you can hear her say, I'm going to come down here every night and break your stuff. She doesn't say stuff. Because people around here need to sleep. And you all are keeping us up all night. And they're chanting and hollering at her. It's a good thing they didn't attack her. She didn't get hurt. But when it gets down where people are coming out of their apartments at night, these people raise hell all night long. And no law enforcement, nobody does a damn thing about it. And if I was her, boy, if she's fortunate enough to still have her father, her uncle, her husband, his brother, sons, get them all together and come down there and see if the cops won't do nothing about it.
I will turn it down. I would love to. You just have to ask nice, and I'm being nice even though you're screaming at me.
Fuck you! I'm coming back every night. I'm destroying and wrecking your shit. Turn it down. We the people need sleep. Motherfuckers, you're worse than listen, what the fuck is this? You heard what I said, bitch.
Talking to us calmly would be a hell of a lot better than
yourself.
Go fuck yourself.
Decolonize your fucking ass, bitch.
Go fuck yourself, bro. I don't give a fuck. Stick that cane up your ass.
Make it. Come on, I'm ready to go.
The first domino falls, right?
Fuck you.
You know what happens?
Jail.
You know what happens when the first domino falls?
Down.
Don't get mad.
I'm telling you to shut the fuck up. I'm sleeping.
Hey guys, let's let another neighbor talk. Let's let another neighbor talk.
Well, at least they can't play their music now because she busted their stuff up. But I'd like to see, I don't want violence, but I want old-fashioned discipline. Old-fashioned discipline. But there's only so much one person can do. The Vanderbilts. Yeah, I remember them. We all do. A couple of things going on in D.C. Penguin Z put up, is that his name? About these, he called, I don't know why he called them riot fences. I'm looking for his post. But anyway, he's talking about fences going up around D.C. I'm sure you all have seen it. Here they are. Here it is. Why is a riot fence going up around the White House? Penguin 6. And I saw a couple of posts about that, why it's happening. Citizen Free Press put this up. Somebody spent a lot of money to organize another goofball No Kings rally nationwide. Here it is. National March on Washington. Stop the war on Iran. I'm glad somebody had to pump out a bunch of money, send out gift cards to get people to show up, buy bus tickets, print signs for a war that never happened. They They were planning. I showed you the New York Times article. The U.S. enters a war with Iran. Right away, they started printing all their propaganda crap up and lining up their paid help. Stop the war on Iran. Saturday, June 28th, 1 p.m. AnswerCoalition.org. How much money? The code pink. You see that at the bottom. How much government money do you think they got from some slush fund that some judge is keeping open, the spigot open on? So that's why we're seeing that kind of fencing coming up around the White House. You know, and once again, it's common sense and leadership. You can see they're trying to stir up trouble. Go ahead and be ready for it. Let me see. Yeah, they're unbelievable. I agree. Very unbelievable. The more you see it, it's still harder to believe. New York, here's somebody put this up with New York. Put this on your meta page. And y'all still on Facebook. It says, dark days ahead. Zoran, fortune redistributor. Picking a guy's pocket. Just a little commie. And Trump is the one that put it out there plump and plain like that about Zoran, the commie. He came right out and said, we shouldn't have any billionaires. Where's that? I don't think we should have people from a foreign country that violated their oath to be a citizen in our country. What are you doing talking about billionaires? Who the hell are you to decide who can be a millionaire, a billionaire, or anything else? You haven't accomplished a damn thing in your life. And you're violating the Communist Control Act, I believe, of 1958. And you should be stripped of your citizenship and deported because you're agitating for things that are destructive to the Constitution. You want to create a city that is communist. You call it socialism. But anyway, here's talking his crap about billionaires.
You are a self-described democratic socialist. Do you think that billionaires have a right to exist?
I don't think that we should have billionaires because, frankly, it is so much money in a moment of such inequality. And ultimately, what we need more of is equality across our city and across our state and across our country. And I look for a city that is fair.
Oh, he's going to be fair. He wants to make it fair for everybody. And then the dopey idiots that don't know what the hell communism does, the destructive nature of it. Oh, yeah, he just wants to be fair. And yes, we're all in agreement. No billionaires in this moment of need of our country. I mean, my father went over there to fight communists. Okay, could have lost his life. And here we got one grinning fool sitting right in our country. Next thing you know, if he could, he'd be putting his rear end on a Oval Office desk. Here's where he's going to tax white. It comes out and says it. I mean, is this real? That he's going to tax higher white neighborhoods? That's not lawful.
Went on your website and realized there's a policy proposal that says your plan, and I'm going to quote it for folks, is to shift the tax burden from overtaxed homeowners in the outer boroughs to more expensive homes in richer and whiter neighborhoods. Explain why you are bringing race into your tax proposal.
That is just a description of what we see right now. It's not driven by race. It's more of an assessment of what neighborhoods are being undertaxed versus overtaxed. We've seen time and again that this is a property tax system that is inequitable. It's one that actually Eric Adams ran on saying that he would change in the first 100 days. He's since sought to defend it and lost at every juncture in court.
And I understand you're saying we're simply describing the types of neighborhoods that would see these increase in taxes, and yet by invoking race, do you run the risk of potentially alienating key constituents?
I think I'm just naming things as they are. And ultimately, the thing that motivates me in this is to create a system of fairness. It is not to work backwards from a racial assessment of neighborhoods or our city. Rather, it's to ensure that we actually have an equal playing field. And right now, what we see with the property tax system is one that is overtaxing a number of New Yorkers and undertaxing others, and an inability of political will to resolve that.
So no plans to change that language on your website?
The focus here is to actually ensure a fair property tax system, and that the use of that language is just an assessment of the neighborhood.
Man, I tell you what, it'd be hard for me to not be extremely rude with that person. If I ever met them, I would be extremely rude. I mean, it would be hard for me not to be extremely rude. And, you know, New Yorkers are waking up. They're waking up. Here's some, put on your meta. People need to wake up. Because how many times I said it? Going to be butt up. You know, and no, you can't walk your dog. No, you can't eat bacon. You think I'm crazy? Ask them how it's going over there in the UK. Ask them how it's going over there in France. France isn't France anymore. I got a clip of Trump saying that. Said, I'm sorry to say it. It's a shame. But France isn't France anymore. How do you think the church at Notre Dame burned down? It was an accident, right? In a pig's eye, it was an accident. How is this okay? And this is not. What happened to America? We're letting a lot of third world people come in here that have no intention of joining with the American, the concept of the American government of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, all the things that we have in the Constitution. They have no intention of honoring that. They have every intention to doing what Obama said, fundamentally change America. What the hell did he mean? This is what he means, to tear down its institutions. And unless we wake up, we're going to have problems. You guys heard about the truck blowing up in D.C. You know, I'm sure everybody was thinking the worst. Here's I don't know if I play it all, but here's somebody caught it right after it happened.
Whoa.
That just started.
23rd Street South, Sunday, June 29th. Wow. That doesn't look...
You know what I'd be thinking? What a side bomber or a car BOMB, right? Somebody doing something on purpose. I'm looking for a picture. I have a picture of it. It was an Amazon truck. Something happened. You know, they're saying it was an accident, but how does an Amazon truck just go up and smoke? I mean, a lot of smoke like that. Was it a battery-operated Amazon vehicle with the battery catching on fire? Because you got Elon Musk mouthing off. Trump reached out to him a little bit, but he doesn't have to. But he's still doing it. I'm looking for that. And it's got, if I come across it, I'll show it. It looked like the front passenger side was all burned up. And I don't know why it would be located in that situation. If I come across it, I'll put it up. But that's what it was, a delivery vehicle caught on fire. Amazon delivery vehicle. Here you go. See if they'll let you put this on Meta. There are times when you are forced to sit next to a racist, anti-American communist sellout who's destroying the country you love. And you aren't allowed to say anything. All you can do is stare and plan for the day. New. Here's another thing they're conniving on doing. No Kings 2.0. National protests. Okay. Come out and disrupt people who are trying to enjoy the 4th of July. I got a video of that crazy woman going up to a guy's house because he had 4th of July stuff in his yard. On the 4th of July, like you're supposed to. But that's when they want to start trouble. And you know what? If they don't watch out, you look for trouble. Like that judge I was telling you about, baby, you'll find it. You'll find it. Just like Tom Tillis found it. Tom Tillis. We got to pay attention to resignations, right? People not running for office. People stepping down. Weren't we told that was going to happen? I'll read some of Trump's posts. What caused this? This is a political earthquake. There's no criminal charges against him. There's nothing scandalous that's been let out yet. And he steps down as senator. Ain't that something? In Washington over the last few years, it's become increasingly evident that leaders embrace what? Tranny stuff? Embrace the illegals running wild in the country? Embrace the Iran deal? Compromise. And you can't compromise with these maniacs. And demonstrate independent thinking are becoming an endangered species. No. Sellouts like you. And you're gone. Okay? I'm sure you'll cause as much trouble as you can. But I tell you, what a psyop about what was going on with Ron Johnson and Rand Paul and Tom Tillis. I'll expound on that more in a little bit. But we're flushing them out. We're getting them to show themselves. Look, I showed that co-founder of Midas Trash Network, and I'm not just picking on them just to be picking on them. I've shown you all thumbnails of how vitriolic and violent, how they have an undercurrent of violence in their thumbnails. Look at this one. I think this was yesterday. Look what they put up. Look what it says. How many times have you seen me, Frank from NPC Show? To spell that word D-E-A-T-H, we would have to use a 4 for an A to put it in our thumbnails, right? No, they can spell it out. They can do it twice. They can put it in the thumbnail picture and they can put it in their title. SCOTUS sets death trap in final moment of term. And they take an arrow from Trump's forehead to a tombstone. Anybody going to tell me that that's not insinuating violence? That's why I have animosity towards those creeps, because I know they're being unfairly boosted in the algorithm. We've got people like Tim Pool. Here, he put it up just what we were talking about the other night. They're gonna circumvent. They've been conniving on how to circumvent a Supreme Court. So the intent was to keep local district court judges from interfering with the entire nation and the executive branch, how they're going to circumvent that through class action. Sure enough, ACLU files restrictions. A lousy 5.6 thousand views. I've shown you videos with Midas Trash that's had over 100, 200,000 views in that time. Tim Pool used to get 75, 80, 100, 150,000 views. He's only getting 5.6. You tell me that's not an algorithm. That's not an algorithm issue. They're doing that to a lot of different creators. Well, they keep me at 1,640 some subscribers for how damn long? That's the way YouTube works, right? I had a message from, I was on StreamYard one time. A lot of times, they send me emails. Say I'm in the top 10% of hours for creating videos. And, because I'm up five times a week, hour and a half, 2 hours a night. Who's doing that? How many people are doing that? Oh, that's the way it works. So I get 2 subscribers a month. Yeah, that's the way YouTube works, right? Right. But I know a lot more people see my video than what they show. Because the people who repeat things that I say that nobody else said, right? This nitwit right here, I showed you all video about this person going into bathrooms at Disney World. A man dressed like a woman. Transgender influencer Disney bathroom video under investigation by the state of Florida. It's more than just a bathroom video. It's multiple screenshots, multiple selfies with women in the background don't know what the hell's going on in the bathroom. It's against the law. Plus, I think that carries 5 years. If you have dangling participle, you don't go in the woman's room. It's against the law. But this creature does. So they're looking at multiple charges because of multiple videos and selfies and screenshots in an area where people have an expectation of privacy, and multiple charges for entering an area that's supposed to be a safe space for women. I don't give a damn what people think or say. The bottom line is women are physically smaller. They can't, to the average man, they can't defend themselves unless they have some serious training or a weapon of some sort. But the average person doesn't have that. And at Disney World, you shouldn't have an expectation. And, oh, well, this person is a good person. This person is this, that. What the hell are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to mind read and know the intentions of everybody that puts on pink Mickey Mouse ears and goes in the women's room? We're supposed to, oh, they're good people. They just think different. Yeah, like the one that got Laken Riley. So, I don't, whatever if anybody's feels hurt, I don't give it. Was it Margaret? I don't care. Isn't that what JD said? Margaret, I don't care. Frankly, Margaret, I don't give a damn. And we got a duty to give them someplace safe to do very private things. So let's hope this guy gets the book thrown at him. He needs to go in prison. He needs to go in a male prison. And, you know, it's platforms like Twitch and this platform I'm on, Utizzle. This guy makes a lot of money for being an arrogant disruptor. I got this. I seen this ad. What the hell is this? This is True Social. I have got this another ad I'm gonna show you from YouTube. This is True Social. I'm gonna keep the screenshot and I'm gonna get a hold of their whatever their whoever you communicate with about this kind of stuff. Why the hell is this showing up on my feed? The naughty between her legs. Is that a copyright symbol? And it's, of course, I've told y'all before, these cartoons, they outlawed Joe Camel because they said cartoons are for kids and Joe Camel is smoking cigarettes. So if a company does that, they'll be fined a whole bunch of money. It's against the law. But, they can put up cartoons like this. And I've been involved in animation and friends that are in animation. Look below the bubble. You see the two lines that denote movement. Movement in the girl's hands below the frame. And she's saying she's a woman with gear like that? Gear like what? And the taller one looking down with a smug smile apparently is getting felt up. And drool. You see it? What the hell is this doing on True Social? What was the post below that? Donald Trump. Never mind, this is apparently underage people, I feel, marketed towards, even though it's a fully developed person. But you see the subliminal, was it Wayne? Somebody said something about subliminal. Yeah, it's all right there. Why the hell am I seeing it on True Social of all things? So if they want to keep that crap up, I don't got to be on True. I can just go to Donald Trump's feed and the hell with everybody else. This is YouTube. An ad. Think big. Build even better. Amazing team. Inclusive culture. Unmatched infrastructure. Build with impact at AWS. I don't know what this stuff is. But this is a strained smile. Somebody that I think looks like they've got a lot of miles on them emotionally. With the purple hair. Okay, it's fine. I don't know what it is. Maybe they'll live a happy life. Bona fortuno, go live a happy life. But you see this advertising. The thing is, Utizzle is a household app. And you would think that True Social is too. You got to watch what they put on there. Make note of it. And they cross that line. Oh, I've got in my thumbnail a thin red line. A thin red line. Tom Homan keeps saying, don't cross that line. But these judges and these lawyers have got a thin line. They're walking a thin line with this conniving. And I believe it's a red line. And if they cross it, with the Supreme Court on vacation for 3 months, if they cross that thin red line to where this presidency is going to be frustrated for the better part of, 3 months with the Supreme Court gone? a month to get back in front of them again for almost half a freaking year from today when they start pulling their crap, I think they're going to cross that line. I think they're going to cross that line. We'll see what it is. Here's where now, Ketanji Brown Jackson, this is the kind of language she used. Our rights-based legal system can only function properly. You're listening to an idiot, somebody who says that parts of the Constitution are mind-numbing, that she doesn't understand. And she's making decisions on the Supreme Court. And everyone else is always bound by law. The law is too mind-numbing for you, you nitwit. Allowing the executive to violate the law carves out a huge exception. That is saying, in effect, that Trump has broken the law. That is libelous. That, I heard somebody on MSNBC use the term comedy. I've said that before, not comedy, comedy. In the body politic. I said, remember that word, you'll be hearing it. And that's what she's doing. She's disrupting peace. A gash in the basic tenets of our founding charter, which you find mind-numbing and don't comprehend, that would turn out to be a mortal wound. Listen to the language. Mortal means mort. Mort is Italian for gone. DEAD. Requiring courts to provide a dagger makes a mockery of the judiciary. You make a mockery of the judiciary. You're a DEI hire from a auto pen. An ignorant DEI hire. And here's where Amy Coney Barrett answered. I read it before, but now it's totally in context. And you know what? She wasn't rude. She didn't mock her. She didn't make fun of her. She just said it is unnecessary. What matters is how the judiciary may constrain the executive. Justice Jackson would do well to heed her own admonition. Everyone, from the president on down, is bound by the law. That goes for judges too. She says it plump and plain. The question is how the judiciary may constrain the executive. There is no provision in the Congress, in the Constitution, for the judiciary to interfere with core and plenary powers of the president. But they're going to start doing it. And if they do it to where it puts the country at risk, I think it's going to be that fine red line. But look how MSDNC puts it out there today. They put this out today. They want to make it seem to the clapping seals that something very big and different has happened. Wild, chaotic new system. And they put up pictures of the 6 justices. Wild, chaotic new system. What the Supreme Court's ruling means. Nothing about a new damn system. What's new is going around judge shopping to these liberals in liberal districts to file hundreds of motions to frustrate the president. That's the new part. And that's what's got to be stopped. They're an anchor and a tie back to sanity. But no, MSNBC wants to convince people otherwise. Yeah, Shipwreck Crew put up. The fact that 6 justices were okay with signing on to an opinion where Justice Barrett took a personal shot at Justice Jackson is a very strong indication that Jackson has alienated her colleagues and there is a growing lack of respect for her work. They're right. 6 justices co-signed the words that I read to you that Amy Coney Barrett said. In concurrence, justices circulate memos along with their legal views on certain cases in order to bring others around to their thinking. Given what she has written in her dissent, imagine the memos that Jackson must have sent around this case. Oh, probably make you want to puke. Barrett aptly boils down to a single point. Jackson would elevate the primacy of single district judges about the executive because they are the court in the separation of powers. Well, it's got to be constrained, and I like my idea. The greater majority of the court realizes that this person is incompetent and needs to be removed. There ain't no fixing that. There ain't no fixing stupid, okay? Here's somebody put what Amy Coney Barrett said in the chat, whatever it is, GPT or whatever, and came up with this song. Maybe get a clip of it and put it on Meta. I don't know.
We will not dwell on Justice Jackson's arguments, which is at odds with more than 2 centuries worth of precedent. Not to mention the Constitution itself. Justice Jackson skips over that part. Because analyzing the governing statute involves boring legalese. Justice Jackson would do well to heed her own admonition. Everyone from the president on down is bound by law that goes for judge.
Ha ha ha. Well, I guess with Chat GPT you can have fun with it. I don't know. Well, so anyway, we'll see what comes of that. We'll see what comes with it. But at some point, logic has got to break through. I mean, it's illogical. What she's babbling about is illogical. But their resistance is going to be like this guy in Nashville, Tennessee. That's what I couldn't think of. Was it Nashville? This mayor in Nashville trying to accused of trying to dox ICE agents, and they'll put their family in jeopardy. Here you got ABC News. New York leaders push for a proposed bill that would ban ICE agents from wearing masks during arrests. You know, for the better part of 6 or 7 years, we've had to deal with these freaks from coast to coast, burning down cities, even right now this moment, wearing masks and raising hell. And nobody said a damn word about it. You got people out here trying to get some law and order in this country, and you get people that have no damn business in this country out to round up criminals and mentally deranged foreigners. And people like Zoran and whoever else. I mean, I'm sure there's people making a list of who are the ones they're trying to put it in, like Zoran. Do the right thing. We're being fair and equitable. Scrape that language away, and what you'll find is in the foundations of it is nothing but vitriol and undermining, subversiveness. Department of Homeland Security put this up. There you go. They ain't got no masks on. They ain't got no masks on. Coming soon. Homeland Security put this up. Ice, ice, baby. And they called it Alligator Alcatraz, but then they said there are pythons out there. Well, Python Penitentiary. If you really screw up, you go to Python Penitentiary. Here's Christy Nome. I think it's Christy Nome. I hate these black screen videos. But anyway, that thing is going to be opened up in less than 48 hours. Did you all hear that? They're going to be accepting prisoners in less than 48 hours. How long is it going to take some conniving judge to try to screw that up? I don't think it's going to be one in Florida.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem joins me now. Okay, Secretary, we had a little problem with some criminal to put it near a swamp so it was more secure and you didn't really have to have the taxpayers pay extra for security?
Well, ever since President Trump came into office, he encouraged us to build relationships with governors and with local law enforcement to go out there and help us with these enforcement activities. So we've been doing that on arrests and detainments. And now this is absolutely fantastic. This first idea came to us from the Attorney General of Florida, who approached us with the idea. Governor DeSantis is following through on it. I think it's absolutely perfect because this is a state that is stepping up. And I have recently gone to the Republican Governors Association and gone and talked to all the governors in this country about how they can help us more get criminals off of our streets. And Florida is helping us out with detention beds and helping us get people that we have detained in a situation to where they can get on a flight and get out of this country. And listen, Jesse, by you calling these guys bad hombres, they really are. I was talking to a U.S. Marshal just yesterday, and he was talking about the fact that they were deporting a plane load of illegals, and one of them was a cannibal. And he kind of said it offhanded. And I said to him, what do you mean it was a cannibal? And he said, well, we put him on the plane, put him in his seat, and he started to eat his own arms. He was such a deranged individual. This is the kind of people that President Trump is getting off of our streets, people who are murderers and rapists and are deranged individuals that we are working to get out of this country as fast as possible. So Alligator Alcatraz is the future. This is states who are stepping up and helping us solve. They have somewhere to go to be processed so that we can get them out of this country and face the consequences for their crimes.
Secretary, was this bad hombre like handcuffed to something and he was trying to chew his arm off so he could escape? Or was he just hungry?
You know, what bothered me the most was that this U.S. Marshal just said it like it was normal. These are the kind of people they have to work with every single day when they're deporting people out of this country. So they had him, put him on the plane and had him in shackles for the flight because he was such a dangerous individual. When he got back to his seat and put another individual in the seat near, close to him, he said he literally was eating his own arms. That for him, he was, that is what he did. He called himself a cannibal, ate other people, and ate himself that day. Well, they had to take him off of the flight and get him medical attention, and then he went back into the system. But they have what our law enforcement do, what our ICE officers and, Border Patrol, these marshals, what they do is God's work. It really is. They are bringing our communities much more safety. And I'll be down at Alligator Alcatraz here in just a couple of days when it opens. I'll be there to see the first people processed, and I'm looking forward to it because this is what we need. The federal government and the same old contractors and the same old people who've always done this job for years and years isn't always the answer. The taxpayers deserve to have a partnership that's responsive to people, that's affordable, that does it to a very high standard. And that is exactly what Florida is doing here.
All right. Well, we look forward to you breaking ground on this facility. And maybe the president was right when he was saying him across the border. I think this proves that. I think the media should listen up to your story about the.
Have a great weekend. I'm glad to see she's feeling better. She's the one who they said had some kind of stomach virus or something. You never know who, spray something on you or slip you a Mickey or these people are nuts. People are flipping nuts. Carnivore diet, yeah. Anyway, let's see. I got a whole lot more to go through. I'm going to keep going, guys. Since you guys are with me, I'm going to keep on rolling. But I do want to say that please give me a thumbs up. It helps the video get around. And then I do have a link in the description for Buy Me a Coffee. If anybody wants to help out with the channel, I do appreciate it. And I appreciate Wayne, who went by there to buy me a coffee to help me out. And Angela came by to help me out. Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate it. And Mike and Bev this week. All right, we're in the last week of the month. So Mike and Bev and Angela and Wayne, I do appreciate it. And if you're not subscribed, why don't you go ahead and do that? Trump put this up today. America is booming. There he is, clapping his hands. Summer gas prices haven't been this low since 2021. S&P and NASDAQ hit record closing highs as stock market surges. It's eating them up. They can't stand it. And you saw it in their faces with that video I played of those goofballs. I hit a fireworks to go off and it won't go off. I tell you, they tout these special effects. Their rates are going to be hitting soon. And yeah, if this is the kind of performance, boom, finally. Yeah, when I get out of the pow, pow, pow. Anyway, what was the other stuff they were talking about? GE Appliances moving to China, manufacturing to Louisville, creating 800 jobs. There's going to be so many different things. Our manufacturing was devastated by the tree-hugging climate change cult. Just destroyed our economy, but we're going to bring it back. Here's Putin. Wait till the liberals get a hold of this. I don't know if they get a hold of it or not. Or if they want, they'll just want to keep going with their narrative. But anyway, here's what Putin had to say about Trump.
I deeply respect the current American president. He's traveled a very long and difficult path. There were hardships along the way on his way to the White House. You know that he survived 2 attempts on his life. He's a very courageous person, that's for sure.
Yeah, they won't play it because he brought up the 2 assassination attempts on Trump's life that we know of. We know there was a lot more than that. Here's the way I feel right here. Another one for your meta. 2 illegal aliens having a baby shouldn't produce an American citizen. It should produce 3 deported illegal aliens. Yes, I agree 1,000%. Tom Tillis gave himself the boot. Where Trump put up a long screed about Tom Tillis. Where is that? I mean, a long screed. Oh, this is where they're trying to sue Jesse Waters. I might get into that. I got the article on that. Gavin Newsom is trying to sue Jesse Waters for $765 million or something like that. Fox News said they're going to fight it. Oh, this is where they passed a great big beautiful bill. It wouldn't have happened without the fantastic work of Rick Scott, Senator Mike Lee, Senator Ron Johnson, and Cynthia Lummis. They, along with all the other Republican patriots who voted for the bill, are people who truly love our country. As President of the USA, I'm proud of them all and look forward to working with them to grow our economy, reduce wasteful spending, and secure our border. Fight for our military vets, ensure that our Medicaid system helps those who truly need it, and protect our Second Amendment, and so much more. God bless America and make America great again. Yeah, Tom Tillis, you look like a jerk. And that's your own doing. You ever hear somebody say that? They talk about all these Medicaid cuts like they were in Midas Trash Network. All the people that are going to suffer from all the cuts. Oh, they're just making people suffer. Do you realize the 8 million people losing Medicaid and the 3 million losing SNAP benefits? And from what I've seen from some of those pictures, they're on Snap, Crackle, and Pop, as blubbery as they are not entitled to those benefits in the first place. It's on a dollar, so they go out and get whatever the hell they want with cash. I've seen them do it. I've been dealing with tenants on the take, on the dole, whatever, for 30-some years. Trump put this up. Looks like Senator Tom Tillis, as usual, wants to tell the nation he's going to give him a 68% tax increase, as opposed to the biggest tax cut in American history. At the same time, he's unable to understand the importance of a debt extension, which Republicans gave the Democrats just prior to the November 5th election because of its significance and how important it was for the future of the USA. Sadly, the Democrat politicians probably won't reciprocate on a debt extension because they're nasty people who actually hate our country. Tillis is also willing to throw the very important tobacco industry in North Carolina out the window for reasons nobody seems to understand. He loves China-made windmills that cost a fortune, ruin the landscape, and produce the most expensive energy on earth. I can't believe that the great people of North Carolina, a state I love and won 3 times, and a state that I just from the recent tragic floods, when Sleepy Joe Biden let them drown right up until the end of the administration. I was given an A+ rating for the job we did in bringing it back. And Tillis, despite being a Republican, was missing in action. Yeah, where the hell were you, Tom? North Carolina will not allow one of their senators to grandstand in order to get some publicity for himself for a possible but very difficult reelection. America wants to reduce taxes. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, interest deductions on cars, border security, a strong military, and a bill which is great for our farmers, manufacturers, and employment in general. Tom Tillis is making a big mistake for America and the wonderful people of North Carolina. You got that right. So that was one of his first salvos. I mean, he was putting the Ajax to Tom Tillis. I mean, what was he going to do? He would gone down like a Hindenburg. Jamie, you do such a great job. So tough, so insightful, so incredible. I watch you all the time, and you just never miss. Jamie, as president, I just wanted to tell you this, and thank you for the incredible work you're doing. DJT. Donald Trump, President of the United States. That's about as good an endorsement as you're going to get. Hi, Jerry. How you doing? Benjamin, nice to see you. Who'd I miss? They may jump in when I wasn't looking. Roland. Darla's here. Yeah, I think I got everybody. Let's see. Here we go. Numerous people have come forward wanting to run in the primary against Tom Tillis. I will be meeting with him over the coming weeks, looking for someone who will properly represent the great people of North Carolina. So importantly, the United States of America. in the United States of America. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Well, that was Tom Tillis. He was probably half through a damn bottle of vodka and shaking his head. What are you going to do? You're finished. He got suckered. I'll explain that. But I'll go over this first. Republicans must remember they're fighting against a very evil and corrupt. How many times has he used that term? In many ways, incompetent policy-wise. They're competent, but just not policy-wise. They're shysters and connivers. They're in flames. Then do the right thing and make America great again. The Democrats would love to see the biggest tax hike in history, 68%. No border spending, open borders, and a weak, underfunded military. So we wouldn't be able to do things like we did just 1 week ago in Iran. We gave the Dems a debt extension because it was the right thing to do. But they won't do it for us. The one thing they do have is an ability to stick together and vote as one group. They don't have grandstanders, Tom Tillis. They also have House and Senate rules that give great power to the leaders, committee chairmanships, etc. Yeah, that's right. Republicans don't have that and never have been able to get it, but they should. What we do have is wonderful people and a phenomenal policy, and that should win elections every single time. Exactly right. They got to get tough. They got to get smart, and they got to get tough. So anyway, as you know, Tillis dropped out. There was a lot of heat. And, just a couple of truths, a couple of tweets, he can destroy a career that deserves. Here he posted this. While he's doing this to Tillis, he's posting clips from Senator, what's his name? Jim Banks, I think this is, saying Americans are tired of getting screwed.
Spending cut in American history, a $1.6 trillion spending cut, getting rid of the Green New Deal scams from the Biden administration. And it's the biggest tax cut in American history for working class families, for mechanics, for factory workers, teachers, beauticians, the working class men and women of this country who just gave President Trump a historic election victory. Republicans are going to follow through and extend the Trump tax cuts. No taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime, and America is going to be healthier. The economy is going to be stronger for it. And then we'll move on to the next bill and hopefully do even more in spending cuts and helping the American people even more after that.
Yeah, that's a heck of a lot better, Trump posting a clip like that about a senator than getting your rear end kicked all over the place. He deserves it. And here's somebody else, Senator Mullen, talking about there's like Midas Trash Network. So many people are going to get kicked off of Medicaid that really need it. Yeah, all the illegal people. And they had something up about how income was dropping 0.04%. Income dropping 0.04%. Less than a half of 1/10 of 1%. They're hollering about it. Well, that's from people that are no longer getting checks that aren't citizens. That counts as income. But anyway, here's what's this senator name? Senator Wright? Yeah, Secretary Wright, talking about the oil prices. They were thinking they were going to collapse over this Iran deal. But when Trump said drill, baby, drill, it stabilized prices right away.
So when do you expect, are we going to see in the second half of the year more sunlight on the president's energy agenda?
Absolutely. Oh, it'll unfold throughout this year. The first step is the one big, beautiful bill. There's a lot of key things for energy in there. It's some permitting reform. It's some mandated lease sales, things that we should be doing in law, but the Biden administration stopped. And heck, another huge thing I can't help but mention, about $1 trillion, more than $1 trillion of subsidies were slated under current law over the next decade. Over $1 trillion. And what do we get in benefit? We get more expensive electricity and forced to buy an EV, and you can't choose the car of your choice. EV mandate, getting rid of most, over $500 billion of subsidies that are paid for by American taxpayers, while at the same time reducing upward prices on energy.
Yeah. So anyway, that's going to lower market anxiety because, you know, since the 1970s, we weren't allowed to export oil. We weren't allowed to sell it overseas or to Canada or Mexico or anywhere. People don't know that. Oh, this is that vice mayor. You know, I remember that video I put up about that vice mayor that was calling on gangs to go after ICE. But let me see what this is real quick. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is a separate issue. I had this in the studio. I heard it was a lot more than this. 3 Iranians were executed this week for allegedly spying for Israel, according to Islamic Republic Judiciary, bringing the total number of people put to, you know what, on similar charges to 6. They say 6 got executed. Iran crackdown deepens with speedy executions and arrests. Yeah, I'm wondering. I won't get into that. But we're the ones that should be having speedy trials, but they're having them. This mayor, vice mayor, I put up her video where she was calling on ICE. I mean, these gangs, cholos. Where's the cholos? To come and mess with ICE agents. Well, she's under federal investigation. And, you know, not for nothing. I'm not for being vindictive. But these elections need to be punished. And it needs to be public. And it needs to happen quick. But anyway, here's a report on that.
Meanwhile, Democrats continue to be the party of chaos. Nearly 200 House Democrats have refused to condemn the violent anti-ICE riots in Los Angeles. And it looks like the left, they'll do anything to obstruct ICE. Cynthia Gonzalez, the vice mayor of Cudahy in Los Angeles County, is now urging gang members to defend their streets from ICE agents.
I want to know where all the cholos are at in Los Angeles. 18th Street, Florencia. Where's the leadership at? Because you guys are all about territory, and this is 18th Street, and this is Florencia. You guys tag everything up, claiming hood. And now that your hood's being invaded by the biggest gang there is, there ain't a peep out of you. So whoever's the leadership over there, just get your members in order.
This is so dangerous. Gonzalez took the post down and denies she was calling for violence. Yeah, right. But she is being investigated by the FBI. The gangbangers she was referencing, 18th Street, are some of the worst criminals in the United States of America.
One of the largest and most cutthroat gangs in the world, close to 100,000 strong. Murder, gang pride, and mayhem. 18th Street captures everything on camera. In LA alone, They claim 20,000 members and counting.
Besides regular gangbanging, they're involved in kidnapping, extortion, robberies, drug dealing. Everything is based on violence.
The other gang she mentioned, Florencia 13, killed police officer Fernando Arroyos in 2022. Florencia 13 also has a long history of violence.
The defendants murdered Arroyos in furtherance of the criminal enterprise, namely the Florencia 13 gang.
We have a criminal street gang. It's been multi-generational. It's plagued that community. It's plagued the Newton area for decades.
Molly, what do you see these gangbangers out there, and then you see a city official coming out and saying, defend your streets, get out there, and essentially she's saying, fight ICE. Now, she denies that she's calling for violence, but how else do you defend the streets from ICE?
Yeah, it has absolutely flipped on its head who the good guys are, who the bad guys are. It's really a remarkable statement. But it also goes in with something we've seen among public officials in other cities across the country, the villainization of our public entities that are there to protect us, the villainization of ICE, referring to them as terrorists or tying them to neo-Nazi organizations. She used the word the biggest gang there is when referring to ICE. So that's one of the great concerns, that it endangers the lives of our ICE officers who are out there fighting to take people into custody that shouldn't.
Ellie, that I think is worth investigating, and she's the latest example. This played out in Baltimore with Stephanie Rawlins Blake, then investigating potential gang, not affiliations, but a cozy relationship with the gangs. And she should be investigated to see if she has any past relationships. Something that people don't realize about this, especially with the Latin gangs writ large, but with all gangs. In the Latin world, it's the abuelas. It's the people who are actually the senior members of the gang. It's not just about the guys with the tattoos out on the street. And the fact that this does exist with officials. So I think that should be a part of this investigation. Does she have an actual working relationship or some kind of cozy relationship with gangs? Because it's not unheard of. It's been investigated and there have been problems.
Yeah, there need to be prosecutions.
Yeah, Hebrew Hammer, insurrectionists. I think they ought to go through every bit of their social media. And remember, a lot of these officials are constitutional officers. They take an oath. They swear an oath. And I don't know what the case is with this particular individual, but the other thing you got to keep in mind is this is what happens when you have people saying, oh, non-citizens can vote in local elections. You get this kind of crap. How the hell can you have somebody elected by non-citizens and then sit there and actively subvert the Constitution and the executive branch? But anyway, I'll let it finish playing.
I mean, it's remarkable to me. Calling ICE the biggest gang there is, that alone is inciting violence. And then telling these violent gangs to get their members in order, this is the most dangerous rhetoric. ICE is there to, it's remarkable to me that she's a elected official. She's supposed to be protecting the people in her area. And instead she's telling the most dangerous criminals to go out and wreak havoc. I'm alarmed that someone who's in a public office can do this. I'm glad she's being investigated. Maybe you said she's very comfortable calling out a gang. I would never mutter the name of a gang and tell them what to do, because I would not want anyone coming after me. Why does she feel entitled to do that? I'm glad the FBI is investigating, because calling ICE the biggest gang there is and telling gang members to go after them, pretty clear there's violence.
Look, our country has been under siege, and Los Angeles has been the epicenter of so much of that.
Yeah, so we got to do something on a federal level about this business of letting non-citizens vote in local elections. That is insane. And it should be verboten. Let me see. I got a couple of clips of all different kinds of things. What is this one? This isn't a clip. It is a here. How many New Yorkers? It's a local election, right? New York City mayor. How many non-citizens will vote. Democrat nominee for New York City mayor and New York Attorney General. We all know who that is. Stinky Letitia James, Stink Feet, marched in the Pride Parade. Here's what they're going to do with your money. Mom Donnie said he wants to spend $65 million of taxpayer money on trans treatments, including for kids. There they are. My God, she's put on, talk about snap, crackle, and pop. Yeah. A lot of local corruption, a lot of foreign influence in local elections. That's the only way you can put it. Foreign influence. And that's supposed to be again the law. Again, A-G-I-N. Again the law. Who's this character? Yeah, it looks like a mugshot. Democrat Mayor Sean Patterson Howard of Mount Vernon, New York. Mount Vernon, George Washington's home place, reportedly tipped off her pal, Dwayne Murray, that he was going to be charged for allegedly molesting a minor, according to a new lawsuit. Why do Democrats love child predators? Huh? Tip them off. Well, here's some good news. Tell me this wasn't in the works. It needed to be in the works. You all know who this is, don't you? That is a Trump. A Trump. Breaking. Laura Trump is seriously considering making a run for Senate to replace Tom Tillis per notice. He meant to say POTUS, I think. That's Nick Sortor. North Carolina is her home state, so it certainly could happen. That'd be a massive upgrade. Maybe that per not us. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not familiar with that. What's this one? Oh, here's a photo I got. That's just another one going, bye-bye. Alligator, Alcatraz, waiting for you. Speaking of local elections, foreign influence, people taking your money, living off the gravy, New York leaders reach deal on $116 billion city budget. Can you flipping believe that? $116 billion. Remember that story I told? Those of you who have been around with me for a long time, I was talking about for life, Marion Barry. Marion Barry got brought down by a concubine, a paramour, if you will, that he got a city job for, a do-nothing, no-show city job. I don't know, 6 figures, a Mercedes, office you never show up to, and all you got to do is show some affection to Mayor Barry. But, of course, she got him in trouble with the crack. Remember him sitting on the bed saying, the bee set me up. The bee set me up. But that's peanuts. That's all over the place. No show, do nothing jobs, just like the mafia. And what they do with contracts. All kinds of stuff. Biggest criminal enterprise in the world. State, local, and federal governments in America. So I got a long video about Alligator Alcatraz, but we'll save that for my next broadcast, I think. Let me put up some of the stuff from overseas. I had a thing about I saw reports, my goodness, reports that I did not copy because I thought it was BS. It was coming from overseas about Trump was supposed to give Iran $30 billion for help their peacetime nuclear days ago. And I didn't copy it, didn't bring it up. Well, apparently Trump, he called media reports that the White House discussed providing Iran with $30 billion for nuclear energy fake. The U.S. president considers the journalist who disseminated this information sick. So that's something else they're going to try to push. And they were pushing it about 4 days ago. I didn't fall for putting it up. I didn't fall for it. Trump is trying to convince Netanyahu of the need to conclude a ceasefire agreement with Hamas and is interested in a long-term settlement of the conflict. American magazine Newsweek reports, citing a source. Well, that doesn't seem too off the wall, but you got to remember it's Newsweek. What's this one? The morale. Now, who the hell's reporting this? Washington Post. The morale of the U.S. State Department employees has fallen due to the planned mass layoffs. Oh, well as overtime caused by the need to organize the evacuation of Americans from the Middle East, the Washington Post reports. Well, the people from the State Department I've been seeing looking pretty chipper and happy. The ones whose morale are down are the ones who need to go. They don't do anything but cause trouble anyway. Oh, this guy, a far-right politician in Greece, okay? His name is Thanos Plevris, advocated racial purity, called for SHOOTing of migrants. What? And making life in Greece hell for them, has become the Minister of Immigration and Asylum in Greece. How the hell did that happen? And I said, well, this could be a, little dramatic, maybe overstated. But then I found this. Here he is right here. What's his name? That's the guy right there. Greece. Now you know what the flag of Greece looks like right there. There he is. They repeat the same thing. Thanos whatever. A right-wing politician who's advocated for racial purity. And then it's the exact same thing. So I don't know how rough he is, but he's been appointed as. So there's going to be a lot more people heading to their homes. And rightfully so, in my book. Oh, let's see what Midas Trash Network says. They're talking about the fence. We already talked about it. We know why they're barricading it. But let's see what the lunatics on Midas Trash Network has to say. So apparently the White House has been barricaded. I assume this is because Republicans are afraid there will be commotion after they get the BBB through. Once it has been, America will officially be an authoritarian country with no hope of going back without violent revolution. They're having this stuff pumped in their heads by people like Midas Trash Community. I hate saying this because then people will think I'm being unserious or crazy. I'm anything but. Oh, really? No, you're a nut. And I'm afraid that the people you rely on, especially ones that wave a law degree around and run. I believe that wholeheartedly. wholeheartedly. They should be disbarred. Dopes, but if they're really vicious and they're really pushing violent stuff, no law license. Breaking! News leaks indicate that Hakeem Jeffries was caught paying protesters to rally against Doge, Elon Musk, and President Trump. Yeah, there was another thing came out about him. He's not sure if he wants to endorse Zohan, the commie mayor. Trump put out this warning. I couldn't put up all Trump's truths because, I mean, it'd be an hour reading it. But he put up one of the last ones I saw he put up, for all cost-cutting Republicans, of which I am one. Remember, you still have to get reelected. Don't go too crazy. We'll make it all up, times 10, with growth, more than ever before. I got to remember to talk my next broadcast about what happened with Tom Tillis. Part of the operation. Okay? Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Because he had one post about Rand Paul. He said, what's the matter with his brain or something like that? Nowhere near. I mean, he called him out, but it was nowhere near the beating Tom Tillis took. What's it? Is this it? Whoa, wait a minute. Great Congressman Greg Stoop is 100% correct. An unelected staffer, parliamentarian, should not be allowed to hurt the Republicans' bill. Wants many fantastic things out. No. DJT. Well, the other thing I was thinking about, my idea was for the president to petition the court to refer a vote of no confidence to the Senate. That's a parliamentarian move, a vote of no confidence. You see that all the time. Canadian politics in the UK, all these, it's in common law. It's a vote of no confidence. So this parliamentarian likes to cause trouble. That's the other thing I like about my notion, is that it is a common parliamentarian move. So if this person is trying to obstruct what the president wants to do, then it'll make it even tougher. We're just going by parliamentary rules. Yeah, it's just the wording and the way to approach it. The president petitions the court requests of the Senate. That'd be great. And you get rid of these judges right on down the line. It doesn't have to be just Ketanji Brown Jackson. Any judge that has been abusing the law. Bad behavior. Acting in ways that they know are contrary to standing law and the operation of law. There's a term they use called operation of law. Knowingly violating that. Yeah, that is bad behavior. Don't you agree? I think it's going to get traction. And you heard it here first. Hi, Strict, how you doing? Bill, nice to see you. Angela, what's going on? What's going on, Angela? Oh, bad wildfires. Yes, honey. Well, you stay inside. Sorry to hear that. Well, my chats are frozen now. Daggone it. Okay, I got let me see. I'm looking through here. Yeah, I know it's getting late, old cameraman. I know that. I hope you have a good night's rest, buddy. Because tomorrow is, as they say, another day. Anyway, I've got Senator Mullen. This is another clip that Donald Trump put up. And I believe he's talking about getting the deadbeats off of Medicaid. And let's see. This is on. You know, if this stuff was all on Fox News, you'd have a big portion of the electorate that won't ever watch it. The ones that need to hear this stuff. So anyway, I'm at almost 2 hours. Oh my gosh. I'll go ahead. And I want to thank you for spending your precious time with me. If you're not subscribed, think about it. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you know when I go live next time. And if you hadn't hit the like button, do me that favor. Or if you didn't like the video, hit the thumbs down. I don't know. Let me know something. So anyway, folks, I should be going live tomorrow. I'm not on a hiatus or sabbatical yet. So anyway, folks, enjoy this clip. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
What we're doing is cutting the waste, fraud, and abuse, and I want to use that word abuse, out of the Medicaid system and make sure it's for the people that it was originally intended for. Keep in mind, right now, there's 35 million people that live under the poverty line inside the United States. Yet there's 70 million that's on Medicaid. Yeah. Now, it's unsustainable. Medicaid was designed for those in the most dire need, and that's what we need to make sure it's there for. Now, what people are upset about, especially in states, is ever since Obamacare, there's been this loophole that allows the states to actually charge providers an exorbitant amount to pay their share. And so instead of the states paying their share, they're charging the providers, which one requires the United States taxpayers and other states to offset these high provider taxes inside different states. North Carolina has a high provider tax. Yeah. What we're saying is it needs to be even. Every state should be the same, and so we're gradually bringing down what states provide and making it even across the board. And so there's an even playing field. So one state like Oklahoma isn't offsetting high provider taxes in North Carolina or California.